What's up, y'all? Hey man, so I've been getting a lot of comments, a lot of messages on the Mako 17 Pro Skiff. It's that time of year, everybody wants to get out and start going fishing. They want to go get them a boat. And looking at all the videos and the analytics, starting to get a lot of views on the Mako again. So it's time to do another review. I've already done other couple reviews. When I first got it, the 1 year, 2 year, I think it was a year and a half, I can't remember. Either way, it's been 3 years, okay? It was in March of 2020. Maybe it was May. I think it's one of the two ends, I don't remember, it's close enough. We've had her for 3 years. Had nothing but success with her. Just like the other reviews, we're gonna go from bow to stern, kind of go over everything, let you know how she's doing, how she's performed. At the end, of course, we'll kind of talk about if there's anything I'd like to see changed. There is a couple things, but it's minimal. It's just being picky. It has nothing, it doesn't make the boat perform, it wouldn't make the boat perform any better, in my opinion. Now, I understand I don't get anything from Mako on these reviews. I just like doing these reviews because I love the boat, okay? I'll even tell you why I got the Mako versus another boat that I originally went to buy. So if I could persuade you to buy one, that's awesome. It'd be doing it just because I think you love the boat. Trust me, Mako hasn't even acknowledged the fact that I've done these videos. So I don't know if they care or not, whatever. I like the boat. Let's start up at the front, work our way to the back, all around, let y'all know how this boat's doing. Before we get started, guys, do us a favor, give us a thumbs up on this video. If you hadn't subscribed already, give us a subscription. We need those. YouTube sees all the thumbs up, they see the subscriptions, they help push our videos, they help promote them, which in turn helps our channel. So we'd really appreciate if you help us doing that. Now let's get back to the video. We're gonna start with the basic. We're gonna start with the tongue, the wiring. So the wiring, yeah, it sits out in the sun. A lot of you guys have seen my other videos. My boat was under a boat barn. So everything's under the sun, or I'm sorry, everything's under the shade. Not here, I just put her under H.A.B headquarters here for the time being. Mama hates it, but she'll forgive me. This was the only part that was sticking out in the sun, and it kind of sun beat this coating. So, cause it usually comes coiled up, pre-coiled up, but yeah, I just put some electrical tape on there, pull board it. That's just me, I'm not that picky, it's just wiring. The jack, she still works great. She gets a little dry, every now and then you gotta pop that off. Put a little grease and Earl in there, and she works just fine. What you see is typical. We live in South Texas. That's actually way less rust than anybody else is gonna have, mainly because I guess I hadn't been on the water as much as I usually do. But even then, I wash the boat off pretty good when I'm done. But everything is normal. Wear and tear, I shouldn't say wear and tear, I guess surface rust is what I mean. Everything works good. The crank works excellent. Spring is still in good shape. One of the things I've talked about in my other videos is I actually put this clear roller in here. If you kind of look, it's smashed a little bit. I bought it bigger on purpose. That way when I roll it up on the trailer, it doesn't hit these. These are kind of older. I just got lazy, never wiped those off, but they send them with black rollers. And those black rollers, they'll scuff up the boat a little bit. Now, get them with a magic eraser or soap and water. That'll come right off. I've already done it a couple of times. But anyway, I bought this one, so all the pressure is mainly on here. That's just something that I did. Going underneath the boat, I've got a few, little scratches where I got shallow. I don't play around. Daddy likes to go in that shallow water, man. He likes to go through it. Got a few scratches. Like I said, I hadn't been fishing as much as I have normally in the past couple of years, but when I do, I go through some shallow water. You look under the trailer, normal, everything looks good, just a typical galvanized trailer they sell them with. I've heard that they've gone a little bit cheesy on their trailers now. I'm not sure on that. I'll have to look into that. I've had some people tell me that. Normal, little bit of rust. It's just surface rust. I actually clean that off every so often. If you guys watch the videos, I use a lot of that T7 bow shield, and I put on everything, or the Corrosion X HD. I have sprayed trailers down completely with the Corrosion X HD, where it's just nothing but that stuff on the trailer. I don't care, it's just the trailer. I want it to last. If it looks a little discolored, whatever. As long as it gets my boat to the ramp, gets me home, that's all I care about. I'm not in no beauty contest, you know what I mean? So I spray a lot of that on all your welds underneath, galvanized trailer or any other trailer where rust will happen. Coming down the boat, I don't mind showing you my TX numbers. They don't bother me. A lot of people like to blur that out. I don't care. Got me a little scratch right there. Dang it, I never even saw that till now. Probably when I was cutting grass next to it. Anyway, what's up? Still in good shape, man. The boat's real clean. She washes out real good. I can't reach it. Let's open that for you. Might be a little dirty in there. Yeah, a little dirty. Let them wipe out. It's just emergency kit I put in here. First aid kit. That's just a little dirty. This is actually an anchor storage box, which I said from the beginning, I don't know what kind of anchor you guys would use, but that's not very big. That's my hand, and I'm almost all the way across, so not a very big anchor, but we do store a few things in there. Every now and then I throw a cast net in there when we're cast netting, and the water will drain through here. I'm gonna tell you about this real quick. So if you take these 4 screws out, you take that cap off, it's a little channel that runs to the other storage, and I'll show you in a second. Well, from the factory, and I don't know why, and it's not a big deal. That dirt out of there, get a clearer view. I don't know why they don't do it, but on that side back here, they don't silicone it. So here's what happens. When water runs through here, it runs to this channel, and there's another plate on that side that I'll show you. But before that plate, there's a hole in the deck where the water will run through the bottom and out your drain. Well, what happens if water gets in here too much, if you're out there fishing, if it's raining real hard, or you're taking on some water, big waves, if too much water gets in here, it'll bum rush, man. It'll rush so hard that it'll hit that plate back there, splash around, and get in that compartment, which is what's making it leak 90% of the time. Most of the people that I have seen complain about that compartment right here not being a dry storage, that's the main reason. And so I'll show you the easy 5-minute fix that now this is a dry storage. So we go down here, we'll go ahead and open this up, look, this is one of the main things I love about this boat. This is a big deck. This is a big casting deck, okay? I'm 275 pounds, okay? Maybe 280 after a good meal. My boy is almost 260 pounds, big old kid. We have both stood up here casting, fishing, and this doesn't even flex, but yet it's so light to maneuver, okay? So that's one of the things I love about this boat right there. One of the big decisions I decided to get this boat. In here, look, y'all give me a break, man. I don't have a chance to clean everything, but in here, you see that right there? Take those 4 screws out, pull that off, run some silicone across the bottom, the sides, top and edge. Now when that water rushes through there too fast, it'll hit that, it can't go anywhere, and it'll go down that drain that's right behind that a whole lot faster. It's a self-bailing drain. It's made in these boats. I shouldn't say self-bailing, but you know, it's a place they put in there so water has somewhere to go. So you've got a lot of storage in here. I mean, I got my tackle box. I got a thing of water. I got some life jackets all around. You know, makeshift tackle box there. I think it's got some lures and stuff. My son was lure fishing. I'm not a lure fisherman. One of the things that I finally did, and I think everybody who owns a boat should do, is get you a jumper pack. This is overkill. This is one that I bought for another reason, but I just put it in here. This will jumpstart an 18-wheeler a couple times. This is overkill. It's huge. But you can go on Amazon or Harbor Freight and get you a good battery, a little jump starter, man. Nothing worse than being out on the water and for whatever reason you leave an accessory on or the battery just decided to take a crap and now you're stranded. Some of your old motors, a lot of motors, still give you an emergency pull start cord. Buddy, I've been there and yeah, well the reason my battery changed is because the motor wouldn't start. So, yeah, pull cord's not gonna do you any good. But anyway, I think that is a very intelligent thing to do. You know, and it's so simple, it slips your mind. You get on and start buying accessories for your boat and you look past one of the things that's great, just like for your vehicle. Throw one in your vehicle. Something else I wanted to show you. My neighbor, he's got him one too. I thought that was pretty cool. Now he's got the fancy pole in the back. He's got the trolling motor. You guys know me, I don't like all that power pole and trolling motor. But look, I don't know if you can see this or not. Goats. Those goats don't even belong to him. They belong to one of the neighbors who live way back there. And they're constantly getting out. I've caught them under my pool deck before. Just fixing to start chewing on my hoses. That's why they don't come over here anymore. They remember old Tyron. I should have been a kicker or a punter. Come on. So back to the boat. Zoom out. Again, coming down the boat, the trailer, all normal wear and tear. A little bit of scuffing right here, but a lot of times we step right here and we climb up to reach over, and that's all it's done. Tires are good. Need to give her a bath. I will tell you this, when it comes with these little caps right here, that's what keeps your bearings inside. That's what keeps the grease in the bearings. You can buy those on Amazon. After about a year and a half, they'll dry rot. Just simply pop them out the rubber, put a new one in, and you're good to go. Again, that's where I got the boat. Y'all check those guys out, man. I'll tell you at the end of the video the great deals they got, or had. I'm sure they still do. I put these on myself. When I got the boat, I just bought these little aftermarket little rails on the side, some guides. That's starting to rust a little bit, but that's they're kind of a cheaper steel. They'll last you 3 years or more. It didn't cost but 40 bucks to buy. So here we come to the motor. Now, real quick, I put this on myself, just some old hose that I put on there and wrapped. Underneath here is another oil or fuel filter. It's a glass filter is the reason I put this on, to protect it from the sun. The motor has been 100% excellent, giving us no problems. Now I'm gonna take the cowling off and I'm gonna show you what it looks like, and we'll show you the hours. All right, so again, like I said, I get in here and I spray that T7 Bow Shield all over everything. It keeps it looking new. It's made for electronics. Now I changed the filter at 22.2 hours on 5/21 of 21. Here it is, 23, right? It's crazy. And where are my hours? I don't know if you can see that. Zoom in a little bit there. We are at 52.5 hours. Now, for 3 years, that is no hours. I get it, but then again, where I fish, not very far. So, motor's been great. I've had no issues. You need to contact where you buy this thing and find out what they do on warranty. I was told by where we bought it that it's recommended, I want to say in the first 20, 25 hours, to take it in, let them service it for you at a cost, unless they work out a deal with you. But they recommend that they go in and service it. And I'm going to tell you right now, look, not knocking the guys at boat sales places or any kind of boat mechanic, but all the stuff I know they do, and I could be wrong, okay, I'm sure somebody will correct me, but they'll go in, they'll plug it to the computer, they'll see if everything's firing right, they may pull the plugs off, check connections, check your plugs, and when they service, they're gonna drain the oil, put a new filter on, everything you can do yourself. Now, I was told that for warranty, you have to take this in at 100 hours if you want to keep your warranty. The way it's going right now, I think my warranty is gonna run out before I hit that 100 hours, unless I can get out and start doing some damn fishing. Looks like it's gonna be that way. Now, this 52.5 hours is probably about 2 hours off, because when I bought the motor, we went out and ran it one day for a couple hours on the break-in, and the very next day I went and bought this and put it on. So it should probably be around 54.5 hours. Either way, that is no time. Now the tilt trim motor, I've told you guys rather, and showed you some tips on how to help save that tilt trim motor. Take you some of that T7 Bow Shield. Isn't really good for this because it's kind of lighter, and when you wash off your boat, you're gonna wind up washing that off. So get you some Corrosion X HD or some LPS 3 and spray it on there. I don't know if you can really see that, but it's a waxy deposit. When you first spray it on there, it'll be real milky and it'll look nasty, and you'll ask yourself, why the hell did I do that? But it'll dry up and clear up a little bit, but it leaves this waxy protection that doesn't allow the salt water to penetrate that, and you can rinse it off real easy. Those things are expensive, guys. The previous boat I had was the LTS with the same motor, same tilt and trim, and 4 years ago they were $500. And everything's climbing, so I can only imagine they've gone up. So protect that. It's something simple, but it's something that can leave you stranded and cost you a lot of money. Coming over here, I've talked to you guys about the power steering. Okay, we'll make it quick. Simple thing to do if this thing starts getting a little rough to turn, and this is with any motor that you have a worm gear. That's what I call it, worm gear. That's what we grew up calling it. It's just your drive cable, steer cable. You unscrew this plastic cap. Okay, real simple. Unscrew it, pull it back, and you can see the shaft that goes through, oil on my finger. Right inside here, or I'm sorry, inside this cap is an O-ring. And what that O-ring does, that of course keeps the grease and any kind of grease or oil inside that tube so it doesn't come out on your boat when this shaft goes in and out. Anyway, take this off. Remove that nut on this little link right here, arm, pull it off, come right over here, take this off, pull that all the way back to here because you will not go any further because on the shape of this transom, it won't allow you to pull it all the way out. So just pull it as far as you can, come back over here, shove some grease up in there and some oil or some lubricant, make kind of a slime mix. You'll never have an issue. That thing will steer like a champ. Okay, we're taking too long. Coming around here, typical 2 plugs. That is your main plug right there, and that is your secondary plug for what I call a false floor. Basically, everything that's on this floor runs back through here, underneath, and out that plug. Everything that goes down through the floor goes to your main plug. And hadn't had an issue with that. No leaks, no nothing. I don't know if you guys can see, I was an idiot. We're doing a lot of, there's some, killing me. Building our rocket stoves, man. And we're doing a lot of grinding. And I didn't realize all the grinds that were coming on the boat. Came out a couple days later. Of course, you know what happens, a little bit of metal and water. Well, made some rust spots, so I gotta fix that. Anyway, coming down, same thing on the other side. Trailer is exactly the same. Now, I'm gonna kind of speed it up a little bit. I feel like I'm taking too much of your time. But so far, everything's been great from what I've shown you, right? The front aerator, if you guys have seen my other reviews, the issue I had with that is when I first got it, the aerator works fine. I should say Livewell. Okay, I just call it aerator, whatever. Livewell works fine, it pumps fine. It wasn't draining. And the reason it wasn't draining is because there's a couple of hoses that come from right here underneath and up underneath. I don't know if you can see up underneath there. But anyway, the line that comes up to pump the water and the line that comes out of here to go to the back. Anyway, all those hoses kind of tie together because you have an overflow in here as well. So you have your pump right here, or I'm sorry, your stem for the pump, and you got your overflow and the drain. So all 3 of those were coming together. Well, they put a lot of that goop, a lot of sealant in those hoses, and they're not very big hoses. They put so much in there that when they assembled it, it just kind of plugged off the hole and it wasn't draining. It took like 2 days to drain and it was half full. So it wasn't a big deal. I called where I bought the place. They said, sure, bring it back in, we'll fix it. Turnaround time, though, was like 2 months. It was the fishing season, so I was like, I was never gonna use that for a live well anyway. I was only gonna do what I did on the LTS because it was insulated. I put a lot of ice and water slush right here. That's where I keep my fish. So I said, you know what? I got the ice chest, I'll get to in a minute. I said, I got an idea. I just drilled some holes in the bottom. Now, not everybody's gonna do this. Not everybody's as dumb as me, I guess. I just drilled some holes in the bottom so it'll just run out. And that's where we keep our shoes. You know, our sandals, our flip-flops, our chonkless, if you're from South Texas. That's where we throw those. And not a problem. I don't care. I mean, I should say I care. I paid $20,000 for the boat. You think you want everything to work, but that was my decision. I was impatient, I wanted to fish, I wasn't waiting 2 months. Come over here to your console. This is a very, look, and I'm not leaning on the boat, very sturdy console. Very sturdy. I don't know if they put it in with that 5200, that 3M 5200 or 4200. 5200 is permanent, 4200 is semi-permanent, but I can tell you it ain't going nowhere. Now, if you ever have to take this boat in and you got issues, you do have slots right here that I suggest you don't do, let somebody else do, but you can cut that sealant out. That's how you get to the bottom floor. So, but the rod holders are a little weak. They're a little weak. They got 3 screws in them, but it's not the console that's weak. It's a thick plastic. It's just these that are weak. Not really that strong. So inside, I don't know if you can see that or not. Inside there's a little bar that goes across. It's plastic. I went and broke that little plastic so the fishing rod can go further down in. Problem fixed. Console, very simple. Very simple. Let me turn the camera around. Okay, you've got your main power switch. You've got the main breaker. You've got your switches here for your power, your bilge, your lights. On the other side, I'll show you from the other side, it's the horn and the other stuff, which the horn I've used a couple times just to piss off my wife. Now, I've been told, 'cause people's been asking me, their boat didn't come with the backrest option. Well, I guess they only did that on so many models, okay? Which also, we talk about models. I've seen a lot of people say that their 17 didn't have this rubber seal all the way around, which is another reason that now that would cause some leakage, okay? That would cause water to get in there. But my 2020 and all the ones after that, I know that for a fact, I've looked them up, they got this rubber seal. Maybe they thought about that, and they got this like little bump pads, I call them, I guess, when you slam it down. So that, I guess they started that not too long ago. So anybody that has one prior to that is probably what they're talking about. But you can see, just put you some stripping, some weather stripping, you'll be fine. So the cooler that comes with it, I don't know what quart it is. I don't want to get me to lying. It's awesome. Comes with a little pad on top, sitting pad. Open that up. Threw some hog meat in there. Should have washed it out better. You guys shouldn't see that. Anyway, worked great. The latches, I hadn't had to replace anything. The seat rest I love, you know, when I go fishing and I let the anchor out and the boat swings around, I just flip that forward, prop the old feet back, throw out the back, and tear them up. I put these little rod holders in on my own. Safety ratings, even though I've been wanting to tear those out just because I hate having them be there. You probably don't want to tear them out. There's probably a law for that, but you better know those safety ratings because they're for a reason. You know, there's only so many people or so much weight you can have in your boat. It's a law. So know it, understand it. Don't be these weekend warriors that take a 17-foot boat and put 8, 9 people in it. And, you know, sure, it may float, but it's dangerous. It's not smart at all. Be smart. You know, don't be crazy. Think about yourself. Think about others, you know. Don't want to put anybody in danger. Undo this right here. You have access to all your bilge pumps. You actually put the plug in from inside. That top plug right there, which by the way, those are your inlets, outlets for your bilge pumps. And all your bilge pump, I don't know if you can see that in there, all your hoses stuff are down in there. But you put your plug from the inside. Now this back Livewell, I do use from time to time. I will say that. Every now and then we'll throw some fish in there if we're having trouble fishing that day, not catching a bunch. 1, maybe 2, I'll throw them in that Livewell, and if we ain't caught no more than that, I'll let them go, but I'll keep them alive till I do. Okay, I didn't want to make the video too long. I got into talking a little bit. You guys know I like to talk. But there's the boat. Again, the fuel capacity, it comes with 1 6-gallon tank. I bought another. They're actually under the boat right here right now. We took them out to use the rest of the fuel in the lawnmower, which is, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I don't like built-in tanks. I can never see, you know, if they're filthy. how much algae they got in them. That, you know, when they got water in them, it's a pain. These I can take out. If I'm not fishing in a while, I can use the tanks, you know, in the mower, stuff around the house. And if I want to get fuel for the boat, I don't have to drag the boat to town. I can just throw the tanks in the truck and go and get fuel. I'm a simple old boy. I like stuff like that. I grew up in John boats. So, you know, the LTS had a built-in tank. Now, luckily, I never had any issues with it, but what I like to do, and I think most people do, is if you have a tank that's not removable and you can never get to, always keep it full of fuel. It keeps the water out. Always keep it full of fuel and put some kind of a stabilizer in there, and it'll help keep that fuel nice and clean. It was a 40-gallon tank, so I always had to keep it full. These are 6-gallon tanks, okay, which also make the boat lighter. So let's talk about some things that I would change if I could. Picky stuff. The front roller, man, I would do something different. I wouldn't put black. I would put clear, you know, or I would change the setup on that if you could. If not, whatever. One of the things I didn't show you is there's a lip on the front of that boat, you know, on the bow, that depending on the angle and the ramp you're at, sometimes when you're launching, that lip will kind of hang up on those rollers, so you got to be careful. Just got to watch the angle. If you're going on a real steep ramp, that's what happens. You know, your ramp is like this, your boat is like this. As it comes down, it'll hang. You know, a nice smooth tapering, it's never an issue. Something I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna take and run me a little hose to that the Livewell spigot right there. We'll run a little hose, and that way if I want to wash my hands off or be rinsing the boat out as we're running in, just flip that bilge pump on. That way I can wash it off. I don't want that bilge pump to go to waste. I mean, I paid over 20 grand for it. Might as well use it for something, right? I've had no issues, man. The boat the boat runs good. Keep in mind, this is a po' boy skiff, okay? Just, there it is, it's a po' boy skiff. It's a flat bottom. It's a square front end, okay? Nothing about it is made to cut through the water really good, okay? It's just made for a good fishing boat. The LTS I had that V front end where it would slice through the water, through the waves a little bit. This can and will get rough depending on you know, your swells you're at. Now, the bays we fish in, they average 6 to 8 feet deep, but it doesn't take much. 3 or 4 feet of water, if you get the right wind, the right swells, it's gonna get you. So it can get rough at times. I'm just gonna tell you that. But that, you know, what do you expect? This is a fishing skiff. It's a po' boy skiff. That's what I call it. Now, I don't have a power pole. Like I said, I don't like anything mechanical on here that can go wrong. It's just extra batteries, extra stuff. I don't have a trolling motor. I run in water. When I'm moving and by myself, I run in water like that. Now, it wasn't pretty. Yeah, like I said, it was about like that. It was about what, 19, 20 inches. Wasn't pretty. You know, it was kicking up mud. Luckily, I knew where I was going. There wasn't any shell. It was just all mud. And I've gone through there. But it'll draft. Now, it'll sit in about 8, 9 inches of water. It'll just sit there and draft and float. But you're not gonna take off in that. I'm just telling you. I put that well tail on there. It's what I call it. A well tail on the motor. There we are. I've had those for years. I love it how it helps with the takeoff and the way it helps it plane quicker. But where I've noticed it becomes a problem is when I'm in shallower water and I'm trying to get up, you know, get that jump. Well, since it helps so much kick that ass end down, kind of hurts sometimes, but I'm leaving it on there. As far as fuel consumption, 1 6-gallon tank. It's 10 miles from my furthest point to launch to there, 10 miles back, 20 miles. I can go there and back, have half, 3/4 of a tank if I'm just going there and back. If I go messing around, I've gone through about 1.5 tanks a day. That was running where I was at and some other places. So fuel consumption's good. It's a 60 horse. It's nothing eating a lot. Me and another guy, he's about 200 pounds. Top speed was 32. Okay, but I don't run the motor top speed. Now I am gonna make a video of me in the water, running the boat, showing you some different situations, the whole shot, the top speed, the good cruising speed and stuff like that. Just ain't had a chance. The reason I really stuck with this one, it wasn't because of the price. I mean, sure, the price helps, but it was because I had a Mako previous to it. Wasn't the same boat, but it was still a Mako. They're still built in the same company with the same material. I love Mercury's. I've had all kind of different motors growing up. I've had a boat since I was a kid. Johnson's, Yamahas, Evinrude's, Tohatsu's, Suzuki's. I've had them all. And Yamaha and Mercury, let me back up. Mercury and Yamaha have been my best motors. And I've just always had good luck with them. Not everybody has had that kind of luck. Some people the other way around. But anyway, man, guys, I hope you liked the video. Again, I'm not trying to make you go out and buy a Mako. I'm just telling you and kind of reassuring you, if you decide to get this boat, I think you'll have no problems. Now understand, there's a guy out there named Cameraman Ron. I love his videos. He had the Mako and he was loving it, okay, when he first got it. But as the years went on, he just, he was finding out that it just really wasn't built for him and what he was doing, okay? The boat's not a huge boat. It's hard to get out there when we go fishing. We do our fishing videos and film. Can't take a lot of people with you. It's not a very big boat. It's 17 foot. The number one reason I got this boat, other than it was being a Mako, I shouldn't say number one reason, it's small enough that when I go by myself, I can handle it easy, but it's big enough if me, my wife, my son, and another person wants to go, we can fit comfortably. But when you're trying to film, it's a little bit different. So I think he found that out and realized he needed something bigger. And I think he had some other issues. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you there's never gonna be an issue with the boat. You may buy one that's a lemon. It happens, man. But I'm just gonna tell you, where I bought the boat, if I'd have had any problems, I could have taken it back to him and it would have been fixed, no problem. So let's end the video. It has drung on long enough. Again, please, if you liked the video, give us a thumbs up. It don't take but a second. If you hadn't subscribed, we need those subscriptions. We need those thumbs up. When YouTube sees those, they help promote our videos a lot more, which in turn helps the channel. So appreciate you guys very much. We got some stuff coming up. Got some more hunt videos. We got some more fishing videos. Got some more reviews on my Sight Mark Wraith that I'm gonna do for you, some questions answered, and CX3 Tactical has hooked me up with some cool things for my lead slingers. So you know how we end this thing. Every chance you get, wet a line, let an arrow fly, and put some rounds down range. And we will see you on the next video.